Hello and welcome to Adopting a Saint. This year, I'm asking every single department in the whole school to adopt a saint. And the reason I'm doing this is to change the attitude in the school to being one that every department, every student, every member of staff is part of a welcoming and Catholic community. And the way to do this is to understand where we come from and who we are. Adopting a saint will be our opportunity to think of people who lived in the past, who led brilliant and extraordinary lives, and how they can inspire us to become better people here in school. What I'm asking you to do is really quite simple, and I would like it if the whole department was involved in this. So, I'm going to ask each department to choose a saint. How are you going to do this? A link has been shared with you all, listing a large number of saints associated with school, studying, relationships, and particular faculties and curriculum identities. You have the option to choose from one of these saints and use some of the associated information with the saint that I've given you. You should discuss with your department which saint you think suits your personalities and those of your department's best. However, if someone in your department can think of a saint not listed who can link really well with your department, then by all means, come and see me, have a chat with me, and we'll discuss the saint that you've chosen and see how well they can link with them. And then we can use that saint instead. And of course, I will be there to help you to find the information and all the resources you need to be able to set this saint up as your adopted saint for your department. Now, the Catholic Church over the last few years has actually been recreating a lot of the iconography and images used for saints throughout the history of the Church. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see two different saints, St. Martin and St. Bernadette, who are saints from hundreds of years ago, but who have had new icons made. If you simply go into Google and search your saint's name and icon after that, you will be able to find these images produced by the Church for use for us. Now, what should the displays look like? Your displays should look like this. They should have a clear and large image of the saint that your department is adopting. Now, I personally, for chaplaincy, am adopting St. Martin of Tours, a French and Roman saint who is the patron saint of chaplains. When you start creating this display, you should have the saint prominent on the left or in the center of your display. You should have in large, bold letters the saint's name above the image so everyone can see who they are. Now, near this, you should have information about who they are and how they lived their life. Each saint's life was, of course, unique, and it should have information about how they became a saint. What did they do in their life that allowed them to become a saint? You should also put down what it is that inspires you. What did this saint do in their life that inspired you to choose them, to adopt them for your curriculum? What did they do that made you choose this saint in particular? You should also think of how did they link with your subject? What things did they do in their life that links with this subject? For example, St. Patrick is the patron saint of engineers, which means he would link perfectly with the subject of technology, for example. You could pick St. Bernadette, who was, of course, a French girl who lived in France, who spoke to Our Lady in French, lots of our students in this school have visited Lourdes to visit where she lived. It would be a perfect saint for languages. And finally, a prayer associated with this saint in large, bold letters so everyone can read it and understand that this prayer is associated particularly with this saint that you have decided to choose and adopt for your department. Now, these are all the most important things that I need you to include in your displays for when you adopt a saint for your department. Now, these displays should be prominent, obvious, and at the start of your corridors. These displays need to be clear and obvious to show what they are talking about. It's so, no matter who you are, a visitor, a student, a new member of staff, we can all clearly see that these saints are the patrons of our school and our departments. And finally, once a term, you need to link with your faculty saint or your curriculum saint into some of your lessons, and you need to find a way that the saint's life can be put into your lessons. Thank you very much.